So, welcome to the Journey to Healthy Living 7 Weeks of Wellness. As you are aware, this is a group that we started a couple of weeks ago and have been meeting on Monday nights, and we will continue to meet on Monday nights until we've completed. I think we have 5 more weeks to go, and that's Mondays at 7:30 on Zoom. But it has been requested that we just share some of the information that has been shared over the past 2 weeks. So I wanted you to be aware this is the book that we are using, The Great Physician's Prescription for Health and Wellness, 7 Keys to Unlock Your Health Potential. Topics we've been covering are eating to live, supplements, advanced hygiene, exercise, environment, emotions, prayer, and purpose. Two additional resources that we highly recommend are the Healthy Living Handbook and the 7 Steps to Get Off Sugar and Carbohydrates. So the first key that we shared in the first week was eat living food to live. And what we're referring to there is to eat to live, not live to eat, and eat what God created for food and eat food in a form that is healthy for the body. The second key that was covered last week is to supplement your diet with whole food nutritionals, living nutrients, and superfoods. And we lift up the fact that judicious use of high quality whole food nutritional supplements and superfoods can ensure an adequate supply of essential nutrients. And we're so excited that Debbie or Deborah, I shouldn't say Debbie, Deborah Cup White is with us today, and she's going to cover what she shared in our class on last week in just a moment. But just a couple of things that I wanted to share before I turn it over to her. We talked about the Dirty Dozen, which are foods to avoid. And these are based on the dietary guidelines that we find in the Old Testament. And we know that under grace, you can eat whatever you want to eat, but you need to recognize that God gave these dietary guidelines to his people for a reason. And often it was either because of the sanitary issues that made this food unclean or the lack of nutrition in these 12 foods. So just be aware of that. We also share the 7 steps to get off sugar and carbohydrates, which are decide to improve your health through proper nutrition, acquire a support system and knowledge to help make a lifestyle change, clean out the pantry and refrigerator by removing unhealthy foods, and clean out your emotions, purchase healthy foods, plan for the start date to begin changing your eating habits, prepare and eat foods differently than you did before, and improve your health through continuing this new lifestyle, never returning to your old eating habits. We also have been emphasizing the connection between mind, body, and spirit, and that we have to make changes in our mind if we're going to impact the changes in our body. And we need to rely upon God's spirit in order to make those changes. The biblical foundation, we've shared several scriptures every week. I just want to lift up a few of them. Romans 12:2, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. And Philippians 1:6, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. So we want to renew our mind, gathering the information that we need. And then with the Lord's assistance, we want to make changes that enable us to have a healthy lifestyle. Two other verses that we've mentioned, 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20. Do you not know that your bodies are a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were brought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. And 1 Corinthians 10:31. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. And so both of those verses are really kind of self-explanatory that we should be seeking to glorify God with our bodies and with our habits, whether that's what we eat or every habit that we have. We should want it to glorify God. We also talked about the benefits of fasting, and some of those benefits are fasting supports detoxification, strengthens your immune system, oxygenates your cells, improves your skin, helps you lose weight, balances your pH, and also has spiritual benefits such as getting closer to God. We also talked about the importance of water. Water regulates our body temperature, carries nutrients and oxygen, cushions our joints, protects organs and tissues, removes toxins, maintains strength and endurance, and can assist with weight loss. We want you to be aware that 92% of our blood plasma is water and 50 to 70% of our body mass is water. It is believed that everyone should drink 8 to 10 glasses or half your weight in ounces every day. And you can sip that throughout the day, and you're encouraged to drink 1/2 hour, drink water 1/2 hour before lunch and dinner. Two more things that we've lifted up over the past 2 weeks is the importance of including color in your diet. That's called Eat the Rainbow or Eat a Rainbow. And that's the best way to make sure that you have all the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that your body needs. So make sure that you add color to your plates. And you can look this up. That the one poster is from the American Heart Association, and you can look that up on their website and see all of the fruits and vegetables that they recommend that we eat. And that is the major things that. So let's welcome Deborah White as she shares with us about vitamins and supplements.
Thank you, Sister Ramona. Today we're going to take just a few minutes to discuss the importance of vitamins and supplements. Most of this material will likely be a review, as you have probably come across this information previously at some point in life. So my hope is that this brief refresher can be of some assistance for you on your journey. Our agenda for today is to lay the biblical foundation. Then we will talk about what vitamins and minerals are, where we get them, and what they do, followed by the 4 major categories of supplements and how they can be of benefit to us. And then finally, we will close out with hot products. And these are the products we've been hearing more and more about and have become increasingly popular. So let's begin with our scriptural reference back in the Garden of Eden, Genesis 1:29. God was speaking to Adam and Eve. Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, they will be yours for food. And he continues on with that in Genesis 3:18, and you will eat the plants of the field. If we read further on, we'll come across Leviticus 11, where God gives a description of the clean land creatures that we should eat, along with the clean water creatures. Those would be the ones that have fins and scales. And he describes the unclean land creatures, which would include the swine, and unclean water creatures, catfish, shrimp, lobster, eels, snails, etc. And your homework question would be to look up, why does God consider some of our favorite things, the swine, catfish, shrimp, lobster, to be unclean? So again, here is a list of what he considers to be clean and unclean. Clean would be the poultry, beef, bison, lamb, fish with scales, and unclean, swine, crustaceans, and the like. So we can see that God originally set up in the garden for us to have nutrient-rich fruits and veggies with whole grains, high-quality meats, and seafood. So we did pretty good with that plan for a while, but then came the Industrial Revolution that began in the early 1900s when it hit the food industry. And this was because the country was moving away from farmland into cities. Population was growing. People were working outside the home and in manufacturing plants. And therefore, we needed food that would adapt to this new society, food that was convenient, affordable, and tasty. But in order to accomplish this, they had to manipulate the foods to the point that fillers and stabilizers were added and the nutritional content was compromised. And this led to mass production of easy to ship foods that had a long shelf life. The end result is that we ended up with food type products, and these are full of added fillers and stabilizers. As you can see, this is what the typical American diet looks like: highly processed foods with low nutritional value, and boxed, canned, or bottled substances that are full of empty calories and laden with sugar and additives. Well, it didn't take long for big business to figure out that we had an issue. So the food industry teamed up with the pharmacy industry, and they came up with the vitamin industry as a way to get nutrients back into our bodies. So for a lot of us, our first intro to vitamins and supplements was probably one of these two products. As for me, I'm from that cod liver oil generation. I'm quite familiar with that unique taste that it has. This product is still available. It's highly recommended because it is full of vitamins A and vitamins D. Thankfully, it is now available in a capsule form to help us tolerate a little bit better. And some of you may be familiar with that Flintstones vitamin. Fortunately, it was much tastier and chewable, but both of these products were just ways that parents have used to supplement our poor diets and to get vitamins into our systems. So exactly what is a vitamin? A vitamin is an essential nutrient. That is, we cannot live without it. It is required for our bodies to grow, develop, and function properly. However, this is the key point: we cannot produce this ourselves within our bodies, and we must obtain it from an outside source. So according to God, that source was originally natural and whole foods that He originally created. So what are the 13 essential vitamins? The first group are the fat-soluble vitamins: vitamins A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. And these are stored in the body fat and fatty organs of our bodies. And then the second group are the water-soluble vitamins, which would be vitamin C, all of the B vitamins, including folic acid and biotin. And with them being water-soluble, that means they are flushed out daily in our urine and need to be replenished more frequently. So let's begin with vitamin A. And the primary source of vitamin A would be carrots, dairy products, green vegetables, and peppers. And if you think back to basic biology, you'll probably remember that the primary benefit of vitamin A is healthy vision. Let me put a caveat in here. These lists of sources and benefits are not all inclusive. These are just the primary sources and benefits. There are other sources and benefits as well. Moving on to vitamin D, the primary sources would be dairy, salmon, and sunlight. Primary benefits: bone development, calcium absorption. Our next one is vitamin E. Primary sources would be oils, nuts and seeds, whole grains, and eggs. The primary benefits being a healthy immune system and healthy skin. The last of the fat-soluble vitamins would be vitamin K. The primary sources: leafy green vegetables, red meats, and eggs. Primary benefits to help our blood to clot and for bone health. Moving on to the water-soluble vitamins, let's start out with vitamin C. Now, most of you would probably think, oh, you get vitamin C from oranges, but surprisingly, the main source would be peppers, kiwi, papaya, and then oranges. The primary benefits would be that it helps to strengthen our immune system, helps with tissue repair, and wound healing. And the last category would be the B vitamins. Primary source: salmon, meat, liver, dairy products, and leafy greens. Primary benefits: energy, red blood cell production, and our skin and hair health. Now, similar to vitamins, we have minerals. These are also essential for our bodies to grow, but are required in lesser amounts. And here is our list of essential minerals. The ones in blue are the ones that you're probably more familiar with, such as calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium, iron, iodine, zinc, and fluoride. And the major purposes would be to help build bones, our pH balance, muscle contractions and chemical reactions, fluid balance, and to regulate our thyroid glands. So what manufacturers have done is they have combined our essential vitamins and minerals into what is known today as a multivitamin. About 60 to 70% of Americans take a daily multivitamin. So let's look at a basic label of a multivitamin. It's important that all of us know how to read this. We should all be comfortable in knowing how to do this. If you look here at the label up at the top left corner, you'll see the serving size. In this particular product, the serving size is one tablet. It's important to know the serving size so that you are not overdosing or underdosing. Sometimes it may say 2 tablets or 1 tablet before each meal. Make sure you are acquainted with that. What we also see here on this label is the dose per serving. For example, on vitamin A, the dose is 4,000 international units. And then we also see the percent of daily value. This is per FDA recommendations. If this value is significantly over 100%, that is a strong indicator that this is a synthetic product. And we want to make sure we're looking for products made from natural sources. Synthetic products are 50% less active. And unfortunately, about 80% of the products on the market are synthetic. So you want to be careful to look for natural products. One way to do this is by looking at the other ingredient list, which I have highlighted here in yellow. This would be fillers and artificial ingredients. And as you can see on this product, this list is extensive. You want this list to be as short as possible, somewhere around 2 to 3 additional ingredients if possible. And you also want to be aware of the expiration date of any medications that you are ingesting. So let's move on now to our next topic, which would be the supplements. And we're going to go over what the meaning is. A supplement is a non-essential dietary addition. In comparison to vitamins that are essential for life, supplements are not essential, not required to sustain life, but instead they are intended to provide a dietary boost. We need to make note of supplements are regulated differently than drugs or vitamins and minerals. The manufacturer of supplements can make any unproven claim that they want. They may or may not have an expiration date on it. And you will always find this disclaimer on the label stating, these statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. The product is not intended to treat, cure, or prevent disease. You will find over 80,000 supplements on the market today. We're going to highlight the 4 major groups. The first group, herbal supplements, followed by probiotics and fermented foods, then green superfood supplements, and finally, sports enhancing and meal supplements. For herbal supplements, these have been around for centuries, since ancient biblical times. And what they are, they're the product made of plants and or the oils, seeds, or flowers of a plant. If you open your kitchen spice cabinet, you'll see lots of examples of herbal supplements. They are used for many, many things. You can Google any ailment and you will find an herbal supplement to address it. We're going to look at just a couple specifics. For example, for anxiety, you could use St. John's wort, valerian, passion flower, or essential oils. And for cholesterol issues, there's garlic, green tea, turmeric. And for detoxification, it could be dandelion, burdock root, milk thistle, and ginger, and the like. Moving on to probiotics. These are items that contain living microorganisms. They promote the growth of good bacteria in the gut. They aid in digestion and they balance out the digestive system. Your doctor may have ordered a round of probiotics after you've been treated with antibiotics to help restore your gut bacteria. Also, fermented foods are in this category. Things like kimchi, kombucha, yogurt, cheese, miso, sauerkraut, pickled foods, kefir, and tempeh. Some of you may be familiar with a YouTube sensation by the name of Tabitha Brown. She became well known through a viral video where she made a vegetarian BLT and she used tempeh as her bacon product. I have actually tried that. If you want to look her up on YouTube, it is a very tasty vegetarian alternative for BLT. So let's move on to the category of green superfoods. They include wheatgrass, spirulina, chlorella, matcha, and alfalfa. And although you can purchase each of these as individual ingredients, they are usually marketed as a multi-ingredient powder containing 2 or more of these ingredients. And the purpose would be to boost our immunity, aid in weight loss. They are detoxifying and energizing, and they also have mild anti-inflammatory properties. Our final category would be sports enhancing products and meal supplements. This would include your protein powders, plant or dairy based. The dairy based will be known as whey protein. There are electrolyte drinks such as Gatorade or Pedialyte. There are pre and post workout products used to build amino acids, and also nutrition bars. And our last topic is the hot products currently trending in high rotation. This first one here, hopefully some of you are familiar with this picture. This is what is known as sea moss gel. And on the left side of the picture, you will see how it comes in its natural state. You would just soak that in water and blend it up, and you would then get the gel that you see pictured on the right side of the picture. And sea moss gel is a superfood made from algae. It's used for digestion, energy, and for an immune system boost. Another product would be ashwagandha, an herbal supplement for mood stabilization and stress. Soursop and elderberry. These are full of fiber and vitamin C and used to boost our immunity. And finally, bladder wrack, which is iodine and seaweed for thyroid regulation and weight loss. So there are lots of things out there, and it can be difficult for us to get in all of our required nutrients for the day. As for me, I do have trouble getting in my 4 to 5 servings of fruits and veggies. So one way that I've come up with is to do that through a green smoothie. I use leafy green vegetables, and I add a little bit of frozen fruit or whatever green veggie we might have in the refrigerator, cucumbers, avocados, celery. You can hopefully use low sugar berries like strawberries and raspberries. You can also add oats, peanut butter, or yogurt. There's lots of recipes out there, and they would encourage you to also add in some kind of liquid like almond milk or water. And along with ice, this will help to give it a smoothie consistency. And if you refer to the book that we're using for our course on pages 470 and 471, you'll see lots of recipes. That's the Great Physician's Prescription for Health and Wellness. So this is what I put in for my smoothie for today. This is an actual picture of my personal products. You'll see flax and chia seeds. This is what I add for heart health and omega-3s and fiber. This is considered to be an herbal supplement. I also put in a little bit of coconut water used for electrolyte replenishment. I have a protein powder for added flavor and protein boost. These come in lots of flavors. You can get it in chocolate, vanilla, berry flavored. Just check your local grocery stores. And also add a collagen powder because I've read up where this can be a so-called fountain of youth and to help restore the connective tissues. I do add a slice of fresh ginger. There's also powdered varieties, but I like to just slice off a piece of fresh ginger, and that's to help with inflammation. And I do add sea moss gel for energy and overall health. In this picture, it looks a little purplish. That's because it has elderberry added to it. So this is just one way that we can help to improve our daily intake of nutrients. Hopefully you learned something from today's presentation, and that will conclude my discussion. We'll pass it back over to Sister Ramona.
So that concludes our recap of Journey to Healthy Living the past 2 weeks. And we hope that you will join us on Mondays at 7:30 on Zoom. The meeting ID is 567-249-6522. And this information is available on the church's website in terms of the time and the meeting ID. We want to lift up that we're not endorsing any particular products or any particular diet. Our goal is just to get healthy, and we're on that journey and would love for you to join us on that journey as well. All right, God bless you.